I am so excited to be filming this video right now. I don't even know how to do an intro, but today I will be talking about how I found out I was pregnant and my first trimester experience. I guess I can just get right into it really. Today is December 17th and I'm 15 weeks and 4 days. Wow. First, I want to talk about how I found out I was pregnant, and then we will go into how my first trimester has been. This might be a little bit of a TMI video. I would say that so far I'm having a positive experience, so I don't mean anything negative in the TMI aspect. I just mean like if you're pregnant and you're having a baby, it's all TMI, so nothing is really off the table. So let's start with how I found out. I felt like I was pregnant, mainly because coming up to my period, I just wasn't having any period symptoms. And it's not like I would get really bad symptoms, I guess, but it would just be, to be honest, more so like the PMS the week before, where you're just like moody and you're like, oh, why am I crying right now? Probably because my period is coming tomorrow. That is kind of how I knew or felt like I was pregnant. So I think my period was supposed to come on the Friday and this was a Tuesday, and I was reading one of the tests that I had because this was the 3rd month and this was the first time, of course, I felt like that. Did have a test here, but it was the digital one, and for some reason I didn't want to use that. Why did I? Oh, because I think the one that I did get was the pink one, my first response, and I think that tells you sooner than that one. I don't know, but people online or whatever were saying to use that one. So then I went out to Publix at like 2 p.m. because most of the day I was like, I'm not going to do it, like I should just wait for Curtis, and it was just like this overwhelming feeling that I was like, no, I think I need to do it. And for the past, it was only 2 months before that, like 2 times before, where I would take a test early and it was negative, so that kind of discouraged me from taking one at this time, because I was like, I just don't want to take it again and it be negative. But again, I just felt like something was different, so I was like, okay, I just need to know. My idea this month, on the 3rd month, was to just wait and see if I got my period. So I was just gonna wait on the Friday, because mine always came on the day it was supposed to, so it was never late. So I knew that if it was going to be late, then it was likely that I was pregnant, and that was my plan. That was kind of what I wanted to do for this month. I think that was in September. My plan was to wait, but like I said, again, I just felt it was different, so I wanted to take it. Anyway, I'm just beating around the bush. So then I got home and I was like, oh my gosh, let's do it. You know, I was by myself. I just couldn't wait. I only had to wait 2 hours for Curtis to get home. Update, I am sitting here, today is September 24th, I think. And I just went to Publix to get these tests because I haven't tried this one, and why not? It says 6 days sooner. Today's Tuesday, it's supposed to get my period on Saturday. So I feel like it's kind of early, and also it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon and I have been drinking like water and all that stuff, and obviously it says that it will dilute your urine. It says that 4 days before your period it's 96% accurate. Here's my thing. I was going to just wait until Saturday to do it because my period always comes when it says it's going to come. So I was like, just wait until Saturday. And I need to set this up because I do have a story time here. This is going to sound really stupid depending on the result of a test that I take this month, but I have been seeing 11 everywhere, and I'm not like a spiritual, or what's it called when you like astrologist or whatever, like I'm not really into that stuff, but I was seeing this all the time. I was not looking to see 11s. I am not looking for them everywhere. It just started happening and I started seeing them constantly. For example, on my podcast, when I paused it to go into work, it stopped at 1 hour, 11 minutes and 11 seconds. And then when I was at my mom's house, but I don't think I told her any of this because I don't really want to tell anyone, but there was 5 of us and she made 11 cookies, which is like, you would either do 10 or 12, right? And then we played a game and we won by 11 points. And Curtis called me on his way home and he said, oh yeah, it says I'll be home at 11:11. I'm like, something, I don't know if I am probably just convincing myself of this, which I didn't really want to do. It's just such a weird place to be in. I feel like this type of embarrassment within myself when I take the test and I'm like, well, obviously it was gonna be negative, but it's so weird. Like, just the thought of getting your hopes up in a way, which I feel like this is gonna suck, but my hopes have probably never been higher than it was this time. I just took the test because I couldn't wait, but I feel like this will make me feel better. I can just kind of move on with my day and then do something else instead of consuming my brain with that. So I just have to wait 3 minutes and I think it'll be fine. Obviously, no matter what, it will be fine. There's always tomorrow and there's always Saturday and there's always next time, so we'll be okay. It's always in this time where I'm like, oh my gosh, it could really be, I'm either black or white. I'm at 0 or 100. I'm like, this is it, or I'm like, absolutely not. So, okay, let's just wait. I can't. So I thought it was going to be a faint line. Like, I thought I was really gonna have to see it and, you know, I don't know, stare at it and be like, is it not, because I was so early. But as you can see here, is it focusing? If you can kind of see, it's not really focusing. Maybe I'll put a picture in, but the line was dark. Hi! I didn't really have to question much there because it was a very dark line and I was like, I can't believe that. So then my backup one, or my second one, why am I holding that still? My next one was the digital one where it says pregnant, because that's how I wanted to tell Curtis, because it's right there, you know, it says it. You don't have to interpret that. After that, I literally just sat on my bed for 2 hours until he got home, and I was just like, oh my gosh. And there was just a lot going through my head, of course. It was all good things, but it was still crazy. I did take videos so that I could put them in this video, just so I kind of had that documented, so I'll insert them here right after I found out. Okay, I have it right here. I am shaking a little bit. Oh my gosh, look at my nail. Oh, this is so... Okay, let's just look. Let's just look at it. Oh my gosh! Can you see how much I'm shaking? I need to sit down. That's not... I don't even know what to do right now. Is it, like, am I reading this right? Oh my gosh. What? This is crazy. I've just been sitting here, like, screaming. I think what I'm gonna do when Curtis gets home, I'm gonna just tell him that I waited for him to take the test with him. And then I'm gonna be like, come on, quick, I just need to take it, like, you know, I need to put my mind at ease or whatever. And then I'll just be like, oh my gosh, this feels like I'm in a movie. This does not feel real. This one said like 75% accuracy, and the other one I just took was 96%. I want to call my mom up so bad and tell her, so I want to do it in person, and it's crazy. I just saw her yesterday. Oh my gosh. But I'm gonna see her in like 3 weeks. I'm like, grandma, like, I just felt like it was gonna happen. I just felt so many things that were right about it happening right now. We're just sat here. It has officially been an hour. And I'm still sat here, and I don't think that this is I'm still in shock. I can't believe it. Seeing this written out like that too is just crazy. What do we do? Ah! No, but really, what do I do? It's so weird that I really could feel it this time, and I have never felt it before. The 11 things got me now. Like, if I didn't believe in that before, I'm hooked. Sign me up, like, I'm all in. I'm gonna name the baby 11. Oh my gosh, the baby that is in here.
to do. That's why I'm like, I just need to talk about it. So I just turned on my phone. Talk to somebody. I was gonna call my Nana. Not to tell her, no offense, Nana, but of course I'm gonna wait till you get here in person to tell you. But, like, I can't just have a normal conversation. I know, I just want to tell my mom so bad. So that sucks not to tell you. Honestly, if you lived 2 minutes away from me, I would probably be there gonna tell you this evening. But I will see you in 3 weeks and I'll tell you then. Can't believe I saw you. I was pregnant when you saw me yesterday. Oh my gosh. I just keep staring at them. Like, if I'm not talking to the camera, I'm just staring at this. I just can't believe it. It's not that I never thought it would be me, but now that it is me, it's definitely just insane.
And it's been months since I filmed that, so I don't even know what I just said. But I was basically just sat on the bed like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. And then once Curtis got home, I was trying to think, how can I tell him? Like, of course I wanted to make it a little special, but he had called me and he was like, did you take the test? Because he didn't really mind if I did or waited for him. Like, he's like, whatever you think is best. And I told him that I was gonna wait for him. So I put the positive test in the box. And I was like, oh, can you just pass it to me? No, what did I do? I took out the test, the one that said pregnant, and I was like, oh, this one already, it's used, or like something like that. I'll put the video in as well after this. Today is September 25th. Curtis just got home from work and oh my gosh, I'm literally gonna throw. I don't know. I'm about to take the
This is the one. This is the one. I
Oh my
can feel
gosh.
it. I can feel it.
Wait, that's weird. What is that?
We have it already says pregnant. Wait, for real? No, I gotta protect you now.
But basically I just took it out and I was like, oh, it's used. And he was like, what? It says pregnant? Or something like that. Like, you'll see his reaction at first is like kind of confused. And then he was just like, oh my gosh. And I was just staring at him like, it's me. So that was really nice. Yeah, I found out really early, probably like 4 weeks then I must have been. And I didn't realize that it basically starts from the first day of your last period. So even those like 2 weeks or a week or something where you're like trying, it still goes from your period date. So technically I was only 2 weeks, but they call it 4 weeks, so the more you know. I didn't know. Then we had a scan at 6 weeks, which I can get into when I'm talking about the first trimester. So we had a scan at 6 weeks. We were going to see my family I was around 7 weeks. I think I had just turned 7 weeks. It had just gone 7 weeks when I was going to see them, or maybe 8. It was just in between there. And I had all my old baby videos from when I was like born to 9 months, which ironically, how long are you pregnant for? 9 months? Basically what I did is I edited those videos. It was only 5 minutes. And I took them from 9 months down to me being born. And then it like ends, but it flashes and it's me taking the test and like Curtis finding out. And we got so lucky we got to go to our first scan because I got to put that at the end of the video. So that was a really fun way to show them, and I would show it to you, but YouTube will probably take my channel down because it's me as a baby. You've seen the video of me finding out and Curtis finding out, and I'll put the little scan picture in because they were so tiny. They were just like a speck. We would call them like specker. Because they were just so small. But that is really how I found out. I also, oh my gosh, I can't believe I forgot to mention this, but I'm not really like I don't know what the word is I would use. No, I don't want to say spiritual, but like I'm not really into horoscopes or like angel numbers, like that type of thing. But about 2 weeks before I found out, I was seeing 11s everywhere. Like, I don't just mean 11:11 on the clock. I remember once I paused, or like I was at work, so I finished my podcast, I just paused it, and it was at 1 hour, 11 minutes, and 11 seconds. And I was like, what are the odds of that? Like, it just kept coming up everywhere. Everything was just 11s, and I was talking to this girl at work and I was like, what does this mean? Because she is more into that stuff, which I think is really cool. And she's like, that's your angel giving you a sign. I don't know, I just thought it was so cool. I was seeing them everywhere. I've never seen that in my whole life before. As soon as I found out I was pregnant, I stopped seeing them. Now it's raining, sorry if it's a little dark in here, but I just couldn't believe it. I thought that was really cool and I don't want to forget that. So I do have like a little baby diary that I've been writing to them in. I need to catch my breath, I'm talking so fast, I'm just so excited. So yeah, I thought it would be cute. Can you imagine if we named the baby 11? But that's not gonna happen, but it would be cool. Anyways, that is how I found out. It was crazy. Let's talk about my first trimester, and these are all just my experience, like my opinions. I would like to say I had a positive experience, so if you are worried or you want to know what it's like, here's a positive experience for you. Don't let people try to tell you all of their negative experiences. If you believe that you will have a positive experience, then you will. Or that's what I told myself, and I did have a great experience so far, and I'm having a great experience so far. I feel very lucky, blessed, all of the things. So, ow. Except sometimes when I move like that, it hurts a little bit. Here's the TMI. We're gonna come into this part. I don't know why I've chosen to sit on the floor. Yeah, so I found out at 4 weeks. I think I need to sit on a pillow, actually. One moment. I'm gonna try to sit on this blanket. So, oh no, am I too far from the camera now? All right, hopefully that is okay for you. I found out at about 4 weeks, and our first scan was just about 6-7 weeks. And I would say between 6 and 8 weeks, maybe 6 and 9, was the hardest bit for me. I didn't physically have any morning sickness, knock on wood. I was nauseous though. I wouldn't say that was just restricted to mornings. In the morning, I actually wasn't bad. In the morning, I would wake up and have breakfast. It was mostly just bland food. I'm finally getting back into being able to eat normal food I would normally eat. I would just have like cereal or pancakes, like something bland and easy that doesn't really smell too much. So that was the morning. Lunches are hard because being at work, it's just a struggle for me to know what to bring since I always brought a sandwich, and you can't eat deli meat when you are pregnant. So that's difficult. I still don't know, like I'm a bit better, well not a bit, a lot better. I'm almost back to normal now with my eating, but I always had a ham and cheese sandwich, and I don't just want a cheese sandwich. So I've tried to like put veggies on it, I don't know, do all the things, but it doesn't hit the same. A veggie sandwich doesn't hit the same for me. There was a time in between there, and by the way, this is probably gonna go all over the place as I remember stuff, but there was a time there when the doctor said that I couldn't eat mayo, or pregnant women can't have mayo because sometimes it's made with raw eggs. And I had been eating mayo, so then of course I was spiraling, and I was like, oh my gosh, I've had mayo. And then she was like, well, store-bought is fine, but if you make it at home, most of the time people make it with raw eggs. So of course the eggs have to be fully cooked and pasteurized and all of that, which 9 times out of 10 they all are. I would say the first trimester I was really panicking about, like, can I eat this, can I not? Because things that I thought that would be okay turned out maybe not to be okay, like Caesar salad dressing, because some of them have anchovies in, which I don't know if they're raw, but you can't eat that. And some sauces, like Chick-fil-A sauce, I don't know if they have raw eggs in it, because I did call and ask and they didn't know. So a lot of the places didn't know. So then I just kind of stopped eating it because I'm like, whatever. And then you get used to not eating it. Oh yeah, so at first I was nauseous. I was nauseous for a while. It was heavier some days, and others I just had to eat, even though of course you don't want to eat, but eating made me feel better in the long run. But some days I was just down bad. I'm like, I can't eat anything. I don't want to eat anything. The first thing that I went off of was red pasta sauce, just because I was making dinner or whatever, and I put it in my mouth and I was like, oh my gosh, this is disgusting. Like, Still can't eat it. That's one of the things that I cannot eat. I don't want to see that. And then I was doing like pasta salads with Thousand Island dressing, and I couldn't eat that either. I was like, this is disgusting. What else? I would say in those, probably not for long. Like, I'm not a nap girly. I don't like to take naps. I don't think it makes me feel better, to be honest, at any time, not just now, but I don't really like naps. I feel like I'm okay not on much sleep, but I'm not good when I'm hungry. So that's kind of my thing. I can lose the sleep, but I need to eat. And that's now and all the time. I was very tired, only for like there was a week there. I mean, a lot of people will talk about the pregnancy exhaustion in the first trimester. I would say I only had that for a few days. I did take 2 naps so far, but I knew that for me, I'm such a I'm such a smelly person. I'm such a, what's the word, like sensitive to smells normally, that I knew when I got pregnant, I was like, this is gonna be, what's the word? This is just gonna increase, it's just gonna grow. But on the sleepiness front, I was hoping I would be okay. It was just more like, you don't have energy. Like, I would go to work and then I would just want to come home and rot, which is fine. I'm still doing that. I think standing up at work all day, it hurts. So coming home, just laying down, being horizontal and watching something or reading a book, like, just need to chill out, and that's fine. I think I was trying to like go too much. I would go to work and I do stand up all day, and then to come home and still rally at the parks like we used to just became to be too much. So I'm stopping that now. I'm not gonna go after work anymore. I'm just kind of like, the parks are gonna be there. I don't need to push myself to go, especially after work. So that is me just being chill. I will say, in the job that I do, when I'm stood there all day, my legs now hurt. Like, currently in this trimester, the second trimester, my legs hurt and my feet hurt. It feels like literally I have been walking around at Disney all day. It feels like I ran a marathon. So it's getting a little bit better now. It was very much worse in the first trimester, and my back would hurt, and it would just be that like so exhausted feeling that I just wanted to sit down. I just needed to sit. So in my experience, it was more that of just, my body is so tired, but like mentally I'm okay to keep going. I don't know if that really makes sense. As far as doctor's appointments go, because my family lives in England and I don't have any friends that have been pregnant in America, so I didn't really know what to expect really, and I like to know what's going on. So as far as the appointments for me, my experience, I had one from 6 to 7 weeks. I think 7. I think I just was 7.5 weeks. And the baby was just a tiny speck. So here's the TMI part, is they do use the one that goes inside. I think it's called a sono, and they put it inside of you instead of on your belly, just because obviously it's so tiny. So that goes in. It doesn't hurt or anything. It's just like a little pressure, but it's honestly fine, I promise. So they did that first. It was only in there for like 2 minutes or something. It's funny because it looks like this big when only that much goes inside, so thank goodness for that. And then afterwards, all my appointments, they were ultrasounds, and they are ultrasounds. That first appointment was kind of a breeze. That's all they did. And then the doctor was talking to me just to see how I was feeling, and then basically gave me a list of appointments that I needed to do. They want to see me every 4 weeks just to do an ultrasound and have a chat really, which is fine with me because then I get to see my baby, so that makes me happy. And it's crazy to see how much they grow every time that you go and get to see them. At 12 weeks was my first blood test, and then I have another one coming up in the first week of January, so I'll be like 17 or 18 weeks, I think. So there's another one, and that's the first one is to check on me and the baby, and the second one I'm assuming is just to check on the baby. So that's as far as I've gotten with those appointments right now. Like I said, I must have seen the baby like 5 times, because every time I go they do an ultrasound, whether it's a longer one just to like get measurements, or if it's just a really quick quick one. They sometimes just do it for 2 minutes, make sure the heartbeat is good, and then get to talk to the doctor. And I will say I feel very proud of myself throughout this experience so far. Like, I feel like everything that they have had to do, ew, everything that they've done to me or poked me with or whatever, like, I feel like I've handled it really well. So I will pat myself on the back. I am proud of myself for that, even though I feel like the anticipation might be worse sometimes than the actual thing. I just feel like I'm getting over that anxiety, like, slowly, of being like, oh my gosh, what are they gonna do this time? It's kind of like, kind of done it all, you know, so I don't really mind as much at this point because I know what to expect. So if you are like a nervous person, you just get nervous going to the doctors, you know, you don't know how it's gonna go. I was also quite nervous because I never knew what to expect, and like I said, I didn't have any friends who are also pregnant right now that can be like, oh yeah, the first appointment we did this, and, you know, kind of lay it out for me. So I feel good about myself that way. Where was I going with that? Just praising myself. I don't know, but you can do it and you do get used to it. And people told me that as well, like my cousins would say, you'll get used to it, like it'll be fine, but you really do, so it'll be okay. I'm gonna get my little diary that my sister got me for the baby, and then I have some more notes in that because I don't really want to forget anything in this video. I really just talked about like being nauseous, tired. What else was I mean, I was craving, and I am currently craving everything sour, like anything lemon, lime, some oranges, like citrus as well. I love popsicles. Those Airhead sour straws, those are so good. Coke ices, that's kind of been it. So it's mainly like ice and sour things. So that's interesting. And I'm not really one to always go for sour. Like, I wouldn't really have like the Airhead, the sour belts, or the sour candy and stuff like that. This is the book that Abby got me. Look at my nails, by the way, they're so shiny. I just got them done today. But this is the book that Abby got me. So basically, you write down every week, your experience every week, and it kind of gives you prompts. So that's good, because sometimes from week to week it can either be the same or just change completely for me. I feel like I am mellowing out right now. Everyone's talked about the second trimester being the best, and I see that. I'm happy not to have a period. That's great. It also gives you tips or whatever. I don't know if you would call them tips. Advice, I don't know. Tips, affirmations, just about the baby, like what the baby is going through in the first however many weeks. And I am not one to Google anything ever if I think that there's something up, because you Google something and then the next thing you know. So I don't do that. I have not done that this pregnancy because I know that that is something that just makes me stress out even more. So why am I gonna Google something? So I have my husband Google it for me if it is a question that I'm like, I had a question earlier this week because my doctor said I couldn't lay on my back, and I didn't know how specific, like, is that a flat lay on my back or can I kind of be like this? I asked him to Google that for me, so he found an infographic. So that was helpful. And I can't really lay on my front right now because it's a little uncomfortable for me. Yeah, week 6, I started feeling nauseous and very tired this week. Yes. Luckily that did not, well, did it last too long? There was one day that Curtis cooked chicken and it was terrible. It was the worst day. I was like, I can't. I used to have to eat before, like if we were gonna eat separate different things, or if he was gonna cook something that, even if he was just using a seasoning and it was smelly, I was like, I have to eat before he does, and then he can make his, which he has been one of the best parts about this whole thing. And I know he doesn't really like to be on camera much, but yeah, he has been the best. I feel like having a good partner is so important, and I'm so lucky to have him. Like, it's just crazy how lucky I feel. I wrote down at week 7, I feel like I have a pregnancy brain already. I do feel like that is a real thing. Yesterday I put the kettle in the fridge. So there's little things. Also, my vitamins made me feel really nauseous, and I'll put in a picture of the ones, no, should I put a picture of the ones that it was? Because it might not make you feel that way. They were gummies, and I had been taking them for, like, once we started trying, I started taking them then. And then when I got pregnant, I just could not have them anymore, but I just forced myself to because, you know, I was thinking it was for the baby. It's not totally for me, even though some of it is, I guess. It's for both of us. So I wanted to do that for them. And I keep saying them because I'm not gonna say it. There's only one baby. So I just recently swapped to a different one, a different gummy, and I haven't had any problems with that. Hydration is kind of hard right now because it is cool outside, so it doesn't make you want to like chug water. Obviously in the summer it's so hot. Another thing that I just can't believe is that I don't have to think about growing a baby. Like, you just do it. I'm talking to you right now and my body is growing my baby. Like, that just blows my mind so much. I'm not stopping to think, oh wait, let me just grow the leg right now. Let me just grow the brain right now. Like, our bodies just do that, and I think that's the coolest thing ever. I also always thought it was not weird, but I wondered sometimes why pregnant women always just rub their belly. Like, you see them walking around and they'll just be like, you know, rubbing their belly or holding it or whatever. But that's the only way that you feel like you're kind of holding them. You get to hold them like they're in there, and I like to rub my belly because the baby is in there. So it's not that I thought it was weird, it's just something that doesn't make sense until there is a baby in your belly. At week 8, I said, I can't believe I have 2 hearts being inside of me, which is still crazy. At week 9, I said the nausea is almost gone. I'm still a little bit tired, but not like week 6 and 7. So 6 and 7 and 8, though 6 to 8 was really rough. I'm surprised it was kind of so early being at 6 weeks, but also not really surprised either. Everybody's different. That is basically how my first trimester is going. I got really lucky, I feel like, with my symptoms, just some nausea and being a little bit tired, or a lot bit tired. I just feel lucky with that. And right now I am feeling much better. I feel like even mentally I feel better once I got the results, knowing that our baby is healthy and that I'm healthy. I didn't realize that maybe it was putting a lot on me, but it must have been, because as soon as I found that out, I just feel not different, but, well, I mean, it is different, but in a good way. Like, I just feel more relaxed, I would say. Not really different, just like, okay, everything's fine. You know, like, we're starting to see them. We can see their head in the video or the pictures now on the ultrasound, and it just feels a bit more real. And at the beginning, especially when you don't have a bump and you just feel tired and you're nauseous and it's like everything's annoying you. And I feel like I kind of am coming out of that now. So shouts out to everyone for putting up with me so far. I feel better now. I'll say now I am at week 15. The last 2 weeks, like week 13 and 14, I had really bad indigestion. So that hurt a lot, and like tummy ache, but I still have a bit of indigestion now. My back does hurt sometimes, and sleeping is becoming a little bit difficult since I am a tummy sleeper, and it just feels uncomfortable to sleep on my tummy. Like, it doesn't hurt, it's just a weird feeling. I don't know, it's just weird. Like, you don't know till you know, so it's weird. But they said I can't sleep on my back either, so I'm on my side, but then I was getting a cramp in my leg, so I had to drink more water to make the cramp go away, which does work actually. She told me to drink 1 gallon a day, but I cannot. I can't drink 1 gallon, I already know it. But maybe closer in the summertime I could drink much more, but it's just something that I have to remind myself to do, and I have seen a difference when I drink more water. I will just keep doing that. Get like flavored water, like Crystal Light and stuff like that, to help drink more water. Then you go into the toilet all the time. I think that is everything. I'm excited to let it out into the world, to tell everybody. Literally, it's going on the internet. I can't wait to go baby shopping and setting up your nursery and Can't wait for you to be here. Like, I just have wanted so badly to hold them in this past week. I'm like, oh my gosh, I just want to hold you. Like, obviously stay in there and keep growing, but I just want to hold you. I have really blabbed on for a long time. But I would like to do this for my second and third trimester. Of course, the third, maybe right before the baby comes, or I don't know. We'll see what happens. It doesn't really feel like it's going by slow or fast. I mean, it's obviously the holidays right now, but you'll probably see this after Christmas. It just feels like it's going kind of normal, and I feel like come, you know, 8 months, 7 months pregnant, I'll be like, oh, it's probably gonna slow down. But I don't have to be pregnant through the summertime because baby is coming beginning of June. So I'm really excited just to hibernate with my baby in the hottest months of the year and not leave the house. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.